If you want to listen to all of the episodes of this series right now, early release and ad-free, plus a whole host of extra fan club benefits, head to museumofpopculture.supportingcast.fm. Or if that's too much of a mouthful, just click on it in the show notes, which is the description bit that no one reads. Hello and welcome. I am Josh Widdicombe. For today, I'm the curator of a place of incredible artefacts and exhibitions, a place that stores the greatest thing on earth. This is my Museum of Pop Culture. As a self-confessed pop culture obsessive, I love the geniuses, the scam artists, and, dare I say it, the absolute madmen that have made the records, shows and films that we love. In each series, I will tell you a story of unlikely triumph and usually an enjoyably crushing failure, featuring celebrated stars that in any other industry would probably be politely sacked. It's a show for people more interested in David Hasselhoff than David Lammy, Elizabeth Taylor than Queen Elizabeth I, which, let's be honest, is all of us. Joining me today to discuss one of the iconic boy bands of the 90s, East 17, it's a comedian and friend, and he doesn't live that far from Walthamstow, is Tom Craine. New edition, New Kids on the Block, Boys to Men, Bros, take that. Boy bands in the 80s and the early 90s were polished and safe. Their music was clean, controlled and manufactured. But from the streets of East London, four young men who didn't fit the mould were about to break onto the scene with a sound that fused pop, R&B and hip-hop into something entirely authentic and new.
East 17, the nastiest EastEnders since Dirty Den. Four diamond geezers hailing from Walthamstow and named after their postcode.
Mortimer, Harvey, Hendy, Caldwell. East 17. Founded in Walthamstow, the band quickly delivered hit after hit.
Everybody in the House of Love.
House of Love, Deep, It's Alright. 18 top 20 singles, 4 top 10 albums, and their crowning glory, beating a legendary diva to the iconic Christmas #1 spot with their mega hit, Stay Another Day.
E17 and 1994's Christmas #1.
But as quickly as it began, one controversial news story destroyed them almost overnight.
We had some dreadful remarks from Mr. Brian Harvey of East 17.
I would certainly regard any comments of that sort as wholly wrong.
The band collapses. They sack Brian, and soon Tony leaves, citing creative differences. And before the decade is out, the label drops them and they split up.
You up, Tony, are you? With your millions? You all good? Money you earned off me singing your songs?
This is the story of a boy band who defied the odds, topped the charts, and then imploded in spectacular style. This is the rise and fall of East 17. Tom Craine, hello.
Hi, Josh.
East 17.
Yes.
Have you got any strong feelings?
I mean,
What do you think of when you think of East 17? Honestly.
what do I think of? I think of, they were like the bad boys of 90s boy band music. That's my main memory of them, is kind of the stories and the sort of like the newspaper fascination with them.
Yeah. Do you think of them as a good band?
I think of them as...
You don't have... They're not listening.
Is it okay to say not really?
It is okay, but you're wrong.
I see them as a band who did something different, and maybe if I listen to them all through again, I might have a newfound appreciation. Possibly.
Just say you don't like them.
I don't
Just
like them.
say you don't like them. I am a... It's bad that I'd have to describe myself as an apologist.
Perfect, okay.
They are a very successful band, there's no doubt about
Yes,
that. So they released 18 top 20 singles,
Wow.
4 top 10 albums.
Yep.
They sold 1.8 million albums, 2.8 million singles
Right.
in the UK. This blows my mind, and I don't believe it's true. So they sold 1.8 million albums in the UK.
Okay.
What's the worldwide album sales? I've built it up too much.
Okay. Okay, 300 million. No,
18 million.
seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where?
Because I would assume that their main fan base is in the UK.
It screams Japan.
That's incredible. So they're huge then?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay Another Day is their main calling card.
Yes.
Which is their Christmas song.
Incredible song.
Incredible song.
Yeah.
Tony Mortimer, who wrote it, makes 97 grand a year from it. Very precise. This is from an article on what people make
Useful.
from their Christmas song. That's nice. Every Christmas.
It's nice to have 97 pounds just dripping in every year.
Yeah,
It's
there's
useful.
97 grand every Christmas, like clockwork.
25th of December,
Yeah.
he wakes up and it's in the account.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it's a lovely song,
Santa's
that.
been again.
Is it embarrassing to admit that on more than one occasion I have shed a tear to that song?
Yeah.
Is that quite lame?
Yeah, it's quite lame.
Okay, right.
No, why?
I find it sort of weirdly, genuinely moving.
Well, we will come to what it's about, which is Tony Mortimer's brother's suicide.
Oh, is it? Okay, well now there's going to be 2
Now
songs
you're...
next time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a genuinely beautiful song. I think it's a lovely piece of music. Yeah.
I'm going to make 2 statements for you now.
Okay.
The first one, which I stand by, is that Tony Mortimer, who wrote all the songs, is one of the best British songwriters of the last 30 years. And due to, oh my God, I'm so old, 40 years.
Yeah.
Due to snobbery, basically, I think he's seen as a working class oik, so people don't respect
Yeah.
his songs. I genuinely believe that, in the way that Gary Barlow's not.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It really feels like you're piling on my initial comment now.
Good point.
What initially was a question about whether I was into the music. It turned into some classist observation from me.
You fell into my trap.
Just to be clear, I wasn't saying calling him an oik. I'm not at this point hugely behind their music, but that may change
now
by
got
the end
you
of this.
saying the word oik, but we can edit in.
Cut it up. Yeah.
Secondly, I want to play a game through these 4 episodes.
Fantastic.
At different points, I'm going to ask you who you think the one remaining member of East 17 is still in the band today.
Okay, great.
Judging on where we've got in the story.
So
do you want to have an initial guess?
Well, I'm just going to go because
it's the only one you can name.
No, I'm actually going to go Tony because he has to my mind, the writer of the music.
17.
That's what I thought. So I'm going to go with him. But I think your face suggests that might be wrong.
Well, we'll see. Okay. We're not going to start with any of East 17. We're going to start with a man called Tom Watkins. So Tom Watkins has a brilliant story. Tom Watkins is exactly the kind of person that we want for this podcast.
Brilliant.
He is absolutely...
Bit hurtful. but you got me. Fortunately, Tom Watkins was busy.
Yeah.
Any lumber with me.
I think it would be weird for me to sit Tom Watkins down and tell him the story of East 17 because he's quite heavily involved in it.
Well, it seems like the perfect man.
Okay. His autobiography is called Let's Make Lots of Money, Secrets of a Rich, Fat, Gay, Lucky Bastard.
Great. Love it.
Opening couple of pages, he describes himself as a self-made, man-mad man.
Okay.
Which feels like a slight crossword clue.
Yeah.
A living legend.
Brilliant.
That's himself describing himself.
Yeah.
That.
No, I admire the confidence.
And one of the last pop moguls, a dying breed, the kind that did it in style.
Okay.
So he was born, he's a post-war baby, 1949, in London. Blackheath, which is a nice area of London, Blackheath, but I'm not sure it was at that point. His mum was one of 14 siblings and worked in an ice cream factory.
Wow. My wife's dad worked in an ice cream factory.
I would say that's not the fact out of that I would have picked up on.
But for the initial 3 months, get this for a hazing thing, the people he worked with would routinely fill his Wellington boots with ice cream. So he'd come in the morning, you have to leave your Wellington boots, and every day he would come in and they'd put them underneath the thing and they'd fill them up with ice cream.
What?
After day 3, that's getting annoying. Come on,
sorry. Why is he arriving in Wellington boots?
No, you turned up at work and you had your outfit, your uniform you would get into at the factory. Yeah. Which included Wellington boots. At the end of your shift, you take them off and leave them there.
Oh, I see.
So when he would come in the morning, they would have filled his Wellington boots with ice cream. They were. Well, I hope this didn't happen to this man.
I thought you'd be more interested in the 14 siblings. But his dad Josep Watkins.
Okay,
Josep, which is the name of Pep Guardiola, isn't it? So he was a lighter man. Do you know what a lighter man is?
No, what's that?
So he ferries people back and forth across the River Thames in a kind of glass-bottomed... in a flat-bottomed barge. So his job was to...
Glass-bottom boat in the Thames feels quite unpleasant, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Corpse after corpse as a shopping trolley.
It's not the tourist trap.
Exactly.
I thought
Regretted
it would
it.
be when I built the glass-bottomed boat.
Raw sewage.
So Tom's a kind of chip off the old block a bit, right?
Yeah.
Because he says in his book, in which he says about being a fat, rich, gay, lucky bastard, he says of Josep Watkins, he was always on the make and he sold his passengers meat sandwiches for snacks. Do you know what the meat was?
I'm worried. What is it?
Chappy dog food.
Oh, my God.
It was a practice more common than you might think. These were the days before health and safety. Nobody ever complained. Nobody, as far as I know, ever got sick.
Okay. So he's running a boat across the Thames, and on that boat he's selling people dog food sandwiches. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Just to paint the picture of Tom Watkins' childhood.
If people are sick, you can blame it on the choppy waters.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the
chappy
sandwich.
waters.
Is that-
He doesn't get on with his dad.
Or his dog.
Or his dog.
Dog's always starving.
He doesn't get on with his dad because Tom's like very arty.
Okay.
But he got the same kind of passion for money and aspiration.
Okay.
If you can call serving dog food in sandwiches aspirational. Classic Thatcherite. Used to serve dog food sandwiches.
What's the process that's led him to doing that, though? Has he tried dog food?
It's the
and
overheads,
thought this
right?
isn't bad.
No, he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bit extra. I'm taking people across the Thames. Presumably, that's an employed job.
Okay, yeah.
But while they're on the boat, my bosses aren't around. I can double bubble
Yep.
and serve some sandwiches and make a little bit of extra.
Yeah.
What's the cheapest
Meat that I can-
make in the sandwiches? Just do Marmite. I know one's...
Also,
what's a meat sandwich?
My main question is, a journey across the Thames takes maybe 2 minutes? Who's getting peckish on a 2-minute journey?
Yeah, that is
There's so
good
much
point.
they have to buy a sandwich.
Well, maybe it's like on the way to work. Oh, I've got this great guy. He takes me across the Thames to work.
Yeah.
I've got this lovely meat sandwich for lunch that he gives me. So Tom grows up. That gives a feel for what Blackheath's like. He would occasionally see the Cray twins hanging around.
Okay, yeah.
They were 2 streets away from his school. He said, I saw them a couple of times when I was buying fish and chips. I hadn't fully explored my sexuality at this age, but I felt attracted to them. The danger, the power, the bespoke tailoring. I have to admit it. Even then, I think I loved the idea of being a gangster's mole.
Oh, that's interesting.
And he does quite fancy Tony Mortimer later on. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, so he likes a bad boy. But he's a teenager in the 60s. He's born 1949, so he's a teenager. The Beatles basically makes Tom obsessed with music.
Yeah.
But what he loves is the managers. So there's Brian Epstein, who's the Beatles manager.
Yeah.
And Larry Parnes, who was the manager of Billy Fury, Tommy Steele, various others. My favourite being an act called Dickie Pride.
Right. Okay.
And what Tom says about those is Epstein and Parnes, you need to be gay and Jewish to make it in the manager business. And I'm playing both cards.
Okay.
The problem is he's not Jewish, but he just pretends to be Jewish.
Right, fair enough.
Why not?
Yeah.
He's from quite a Jewish area. He went to Jewish school or something, so he kind of feels like he can just
say it.
Just
yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
By proxy.
I'd say, let's not judge him too harshly on that with what's coming up.
Yeah.
Brian Epstein's quite a fair manager with the Beatles, quite out of his depth manager, some would say, but like Larry Parnes is like the classic.
Okay. What was Epstein? What was his
So Brian Epstein,
relationship with them? Was it a
he was in
friendly
love with John
one?
Lennon.
Okay, was he? Okay, right, yeah.
So Brian Epstein ran a record shop
Yeah.
in Liverpool, went and saw them, and then managed them, started managing them, and then suddenly he's the manager of the biggest band in the world
Ever, yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
He gets some terrible deals.
Right, did he? Okay.
Yeah. But they loved him, and he was really good. You can't argue with what he did for them.
Yeah.
And then he dies in about 1967.
Okay.
Then it all kind of falls apart. And it might not have fallen apart because obviously when he died, this is a totally different podcast.
No,
there was a power vacuum
Yeah.
and Paul kind of takes over and then they resent Paul and then it all goes wrong. They get another manager called Alan Klein,
Yeah.
who's the manager of the Rolling Stones, who was dodgy
Okay.
and brutal and ends up ruining it.
Yeah.
And I think he ends up in jail, or certainly ends up disgraced.
Okay.
Financially.
But our man here he's attracted to this idea of managing bands.
Yes.
And what,
so to
what
give
that-
you an idea of Larry Parnes' methods, he had a act called Vince Eager.
Okay.
You can't argue with his name. Billy Fury, Tommy Steele, Dickie Pride, and Vince Eager.
Yeah.
And Vince Eager wonders why he hasn't seen any royalties. And Larry Parnes says, "You're not entitled to any."
Okay.
And Vince Eager replies, "But it says in my contract that I am." And Larry Parnes replied, "It also says, I have the power of attorney over you. And I've decided you're not getting any."
Is that what it was like back then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arguably, members of East 17 might argue Watkins brought those methods into the present day, but I'd say not like that. So Watkins doesn't go into management, he goes into design.
Right.
So he goes to like an art school, art and design school, and then he studies art and design at London College of Furniture. After graduating, he works for Terence Conran, the ultimate delight, who's a huge designer. So he's brilliant at design. This is before any of it. He's in the team that designs Heathrow Terminal 3.
Wow. Okay.
And the London Stock Exchange. So he's quite a big...
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
He's basically hired as an assistant initially. And he says then that the firm temporarily runs short of work and they decide they have to fire the people that are most recently appointed.
Right.
And he says in his book, "It looked like my golden ticket was about to be snatched away from me. Well, never underestimate the power of a good blowjob."
That's incredible.
"I used it to get lifts back home with a senior employee. After I started helping him to relieve his daily stresses, he effectively got me my job back."
Yeah. But was it worth it? I think is the question.
He did Heathrow Terminal 3. Of course it's worth it. When I said Heathrow Terminal 3, you were impressed.
I was impressed. Yeah.
You didn't say, "Could I just check?" Because he got that job through giving a guy blowjobs in the way home.
Yeah. I always give people the credit to see that they haven't got their job from giving blowjobs.
Well, you, my friend, are an innocent. So he blowjobs his way around, quite a successful design career.
I'll never be able to fly into that airport again with this. That's going to be
Thinking about how
it hose into view. The image that's creeping into my head is him in the back of a limo. Ruined by family holiday again.
But he's a good designer. He's not just all about the blowjobs.
Okay.
He goes and sets up on his own a company called XL, the two letters, with a business partner, Royston Edwards.
Okay.
Good name for someone to set a business company with.
Yeah.
That's so at the start of the 80s, 1981, he sets up XL Design with Royston Edwards. And in 1982, one of the things they do is record sleeves, and they do the Wham rap.
Wow.
Is that the first Wham single? I don't know. Certainly one of the early ones. Tom describing Wham as like two trainee teenage hairdressers who were mad as hell and weren't going to take it anymore. And they basically become one of the main design companies with 80s music. So they work with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, Art of Noise, Wham, as I said, Kim Wilde, Nick Kershaw, Duran Duran, Pet Shop Boys. They design all of these record sleeves.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh, that's a lot of blowjobs.
It is. If you want to know how he got there, blowjobs.
Obviously fits in quite well with the 80s scene.
Yep.
Relax, which is obviously a kind of song about gay sex. Are you aware of that?
I am, yep.
Yeah. He says, Relax deserved its success. Trevor Horn had poured over it until it was a cutting-edge masterpiece.
Yeah.
Tom Watkins described it as, the groove was tighter than a gay porn star's bum.
Okay. It's a great track.
It's a great track.
Yeah.
So have you seen the video where it's like a kind of orgy and there's a big fat kind of Roman emperor and he's in a toga and Frankie Goes to Hollywood are on, like, are they on a spinning thing or something? I can't remember. And then it cuts back and their kind of white liquid is thrown over them and it looks like the Roman emperor's coming on over.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a bit of fun.
It's a bit of fun. Okay. Yeah.
So Tom says that he was actually originally going to be the Roman emperor in the video.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come.
He was penciled to do that role of Nero, but he came down with a chronic case of irritable bowel syndrome.
from eating dog food sandwiches. That is the one consequence.
But he's part of this kind of...
Yeah, he's very much in the scene.
He's very much in the scene.
Yeah. And these are also, that's like culturally, this is stuff that still sticks around. Like that, Relax Alone is just like, still today, what an absolute classic song that is. And really of the time. It's completely part of something, of a movement, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's like central to this. Like, he's doing the art.
Yeah.
And then he also, like, with this... So there's a record label called ZTT that represent Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and they're very in charge, and he respects what they've done there. Like, he likes the Larry Parnes element of that. So he's learning all the time these things. He doesn't work with Grace Jones, but a side point on Grace Jones at ZTT, which was the company he worked with, was that she was doing a song called Slave to the Rhythm, which I'm sure you know. Trevor Horn, who was the kind of musical guy behind ZTT, who you might recognise as the guy who did Buggles, who did Video Killed the Radio Star.
Oh, yeah.
That bloke, right?
Not to sort of leap ahead, what's interesting is that when you think about E17, they had a look and image, and you can see how these skills that are developing here, they already had,
He's
obviously.
very visual.
Completely. And they clearly represented something very starkly. You saw them, like, I know who these guys are. Absolutely, completely. So you can see how that
the ultimate
skill,
compliment. More than take
more
that.
Than, if you can... a band having more of a thing than take that, exactly. But yeah, absolutely. But you can see how these skills completely played into what was to come with E17.
Yeah. Grace Jones, who's another kind of very visual act, she was doing Slave to the Rhythm with ZTT, and Trevor Horn, the producer, asked her to come to the studio immediately to record additional vocals for the songs. The studio's 15 minutes away. She shows up 3 days later.
Unacceptable.
And
this is pre-Uber, though, to be fair.
The reason she gives is she was busy cutting and burning up Dolph Lundgren's clothing because they'd broken up.
That's amazing.
And she said, I could either arrive on time in a bad mood, or in 3 days when I've done this, and I'll be ready to record.
If you're burning it up, do you need to cut it, though? I think it feels like maybe you can save the time on the cutting.
Well, I suppose kindling.
Okay, yeah.
You need bigger items and smaller items.
But also, there is a point within the 3 days that you could give someone a heads up that you're running behind. I know this is pre-text, but just a quick phone call.
How many items of clothing is Dolph Lundgren? I know it's a big unit.
Like Joey from Fred. Yeah. 15 layers every time. But yeah, okay. I've heard that about her. Wasn't she like famously like the late diva? She was always, completely people live by her.
Do you know what? Note it down. She'd be a great story.
Yeah.
Note it down. 1984, so this is 3 years after the founding of Excel, he sets up Massive Management. So this is his move into management.
Great name. I like that.
And he signs the Pet Shop Boys.
Good signing.
Good signing.
To be fair.
Good signing.
Yeah.
So first, Neil Tennant from the Pet Shop Boys, who was the
Pet Shop Boys, of course, they worked in the pet shop that his dad used to buy the dog food for. Was that right? And that's where it's all linked.
Well, you say that. They did go through names.
Right.
West End was one, because obviously West End. The Altar Boys was one. They go with Pet Shop Boys. It's Chris Lowe, the other Pet Shop Boy, not Neil Tennant. His nickname for himself and his housemates are the Pet Shop Boys. So that's where it comes from.
Okay.
But he first meets Neil Tennant, Tom Watkins, earlier on, when he's managing a band early on called Giggles that goes nowhere. Neil Tennant at the time is working for Marvel Comics, because Neil Tennant was a journalist beforehand. And Tom Watkins meets him because he goes to borrow a Spider-Man costume from Marvel Comics.
Oh, really?
The first time he meets Neil Tennant.
Yeah.
And then Neil Tennant goes on to work for Smash Hits, and he leaves. And
all these cultural touches.
I know,
really,
it's mad, isn't
everything you named is of significance, isn't it?
Apart from Giggles.
Apart from Giggles, yeah.
Or old Giggles.
Yeah. Who went on to become the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So he leaves Smash Hits. It's quite a move to go from being deputy editor of Smash Hits to being in a pop band. That's quite like a embarrassing leap if it goes wrong.
But you went from The Guardian to stand-up, didn't you? When you were working at The Guardian, you took that risk.
I took that risk.
You were doing the minute-by-minute for the Football
What you don't
Warriors.
realise, so when you leave often a magazine, it's never happened to me, but I've seen it, they'll often do a mock-up. If you were a big editor of a paper,
right,
when you'd leave, they'll do a mock-up front page full of in-jokes.
Oh, do they? Okay.
So it's like the leaving card is the mock-up. One for Tennant, Neil Tennant, when he leaves Smash Hits, they present him with a copy of Smash Hits with the cover of him that says, Neil Tennant, how I left Britain's brightest magazine to form my tragic pop group, went down the dumper and asked my job back. Good stuff.
It's good stuff. Absolutely good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So their first single is West End Girls.
Yeah.
Which you'll know as a kind of mega
Fantastic
hit.
song, yeah. Brilliant band, fantastic. Oh, so,
Brilliant band,
yeah,
brilliant
fantastic,
band.
Yeah.
It initially charts at number 80. So maybe he's going back to special hits. But then it slowly gets radio play, climbs up the charts, and it goes to number 1.
Good.
First single.
Yeah.
And Watkins says, this is a good claim, that when West End Girls makes it in America,
Yeah.
Dusty Springfield was so awestruck the first time she heard it, she swerved across the freeway and nearly crashed her car.
Like Ashley Cole when he found out how much Arsenal were offering.
I've never had that reaction to a song.
No.
Swerved across the freeway.
Also, not holding up in court.
Yeah.
They're assuming alcohol or drugs, aren't they?
Yeah.
You can't just say,
I'm sorry.
It was West End Girls.
I heard West End Girls by the Pet Shop Boys.
yeah.
I remember John Peel, I was singing an interview with John Peel, whose favourite song was Teenage Kicks by the Undertones.
Yeah.
And he said he first heard it when it was sent to him, and he used to mark everything with stars so that you know how many to play, 1, 2 or 3. And he gave it 17 stars. And then the next time he heard it, he was driving up to Liverpool to watch a match, and they played it on the radio, and he said he just pulled over and cried.
Wow.
Which I'd say is more safety first than Dusty Springfield.
Yeah.
Driving through LA, swerving all over.
Is there a song that could make you swerve your car, do you think?
No, unless it contained information about yourself. that you didn't
Or
want-
information about the travel.
Or information.
A build up on the M4 happens to be one of the lines. Come off here then.
Western town, a dead end world. The Eastern boys and Western girls. In a Western town, a dead end world. The Eastern boys and Western girls. Western girls.
So the Pet Shop Boys released 12 singles,
Yeah.
4 number ones.
Not bad, not bad.
West End Girls, It's a Sin, Always on My Mind, Heart. And then at the height of their success, they sacked Tom Watkins in a Pizza Express.
Wow, Woking.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't say.
Okay.
I'd imagine not.
I feel for him. Why has he been sacked? That's not a bad start, is it?
Well, he said he hit up against Neil Tennant because he wanted to control them. He says, I could never manipulate them. I found that frustrating, but ultimately it made me have an enduring respect for them I perhaps didn't always have for the more easily moulded acts. So in a way, he wants to be totally in charge. And Neil Tennant's obviously
Okay, got
a
you.
kind of auteur, isn't he? Do you want to hear about the sacking from Tom?
Yes.
Neil and Chris picked nervously at their garlic bread before Neil screwed up the courage to tell me, we won't be renewing our contract with you. I stared at my margarita for a moment and pretended to shrug it off as no big deal. But underneath, I was gutted.
There's a couple of things there. I'm glad the food is already out.
Yeah.
You don't want a situation where you've just been sacked and now you're waiting for the food. Because that's painful. And then the dough balls come. I can't. They're doing starters then,
do you
mate.
think it's a shame that the Pet Shop Boys, it's already a statement, they've seemingly just gone with a starter and he's gone with the main.
Other good thing, the Pizza Express have those huge menus. You can hide behind them after and or cry behind it. Do you need to take someone for a lunch in that situation? I'd rather
Well, I suppose he's gone.
just ring me. I don't need to go out and have dough balls.
No, I don't know.
Just tell me.
No, because then the story is they didn't even do the dignity of saying it face to face.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
true.
ordered.
But I think it's just then having to eat your meal feels like the bit that is...
Because they've been through a lot, right?
Hmm.
They've gone from nothing to one of the biggest bands in the UK
Yeah.
with him. Mm-hmm. So they're almost like a team.
Yes.
It is like dumping someone, and you wouldn't do that over the phone.
I think what I'd rather is you meet at the door of Pizza Express, they say, just a heads up, we're going to fire you now. If you want to come in for the meal, you can. For me, it's being trapped and I haven't even started my pizza and I've just found out I've been fired.
Yeah.
And I haven't even gone for that one with the hole in the middle, so it's going to be
Yeah,
quick.
fair enough. Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Pet Shop Boys did a musical called Closer to Heaven. There's a character called Bob Saunders, who's a loudmouth manager,
Right.
who says the words, I have to admit I'm an absolute shit. And it says a lot about Tom Watkins, that he was delighted
Love it.
that he'd been kind of immortalised in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
way.
yeah. I like this guy.
Do you like him?
He's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, he is exactly what you want.
I imagine
right?
he's a nightmare, but he's
Yeah.
fun to hear about. Yeah.
Imagine if I said he had nothing to do with E17.
Yeah. It's a really interesting character.
Yeah. His next band is Bros.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. He can't miss, can he?
You can't miss.
Incredible.
Matt and Luke Goss and Craig Logan, who's the third one that no one remembers. They signed with him in 1986. He gives them their name, short for brothers, obviously, and sends them...
I actually didn't know that.
Didn't you?
Nice of you to chuck in the obviously, but I hadn't worked that out. And all the listeners going, yeah, obviously, I'm the only person in the country that completely missed that. I don't know what I'd thought.
Do I need to be pointing more things out?
Ideally, yes. Yeah. Never leave any sentence open-ended. Okay. Always close it down.
So this was 1986, which is obviously 1,986 years after the birth of Jesus.
Just after 1985, is that right?
Just after 1985.
Immediately prior to 87.
Yeah. He gives them a logo, changes their image, and sends them to the era's hippest barbers, Cuts.
Okay. That sounds like some sitcom or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Real, does it? Is it with a Z as well?
No, but it should have been. It's the classic case of give it 5 more minutes discussing an idea for a name of your haircut place. My first impression.
Your haircut place.
Yeah, I know. I'd want to know. Hairdressing.
You love language, don't you?
I love it. My first impression, they looked fucking dreadful. Matt and drummer Luke looked like the offspring of some grim union between radio and DJ Pat Sharp and an Essex girl. The brown-haired, bass-playing one, Craig, looked like the spotty oik from Grange Hill dressed up like William of Orange. So that's what they looked like when he met them.
Okay.
And then they released a single called I Owe You Nothing, number 80. He's made number 80 his own, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But it doesn't rise up. It doesn't do a West End.
Okay.
So he has to change them.
Yeah.
Any guesses on what he does to...
So a way to rejig Bros and make them more palatable, successful. Yeah. Well, let's just start with a simple sort of style makeover. Is that what he's doing?
I'll give you half a point. We stuck socks down their Levi's to enlarge their packages.
Okay. Like a codpiece, Henry VIII or something.
When your first fit single flops, there's only one thing for it. Make the bulge bigger. You can see why Neil Tennant wasn't into it.
Yeah,
it's not very Pet Shop Boys.
Did it work?
Yeah. When will I be famous? Well, I don't know. Because the next songs are hits. Mm-hmm. Does that mean it's worked, or does that mean they'd have been hits anyway?
Yeah.
I suppose, looking at the pure metrics, when will I be famous and Drop the Boy both peak at number 2. So the socks worked.
Yeah.
And then they re-release I Owe You Nothing, and it goes to number 1.
It's the socks.
It's the socks.
Yeah.
It's the socks. There's only one thing about it.
Sock and roll, yeah.
So by 1989, February 1989, they won Best Newcomer at the Brit Awards. In August...
Sorry, I just want to pick up the fact I just said sock and roll and you didn't react at all. We just continued.
I didn't hear you.
It's quite right, but I've just realised something quite undignified about that. Sock and roll. No reaction. On we go.
That's an edit point.
That's an edit point. Snip that out, yeah.
I hadn't heard you. I just thought you said that socks. Like you were just thinking it. Oh, socks.
Love socks. Anyway.
Oh, socks.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing, though.
They win Best Newcomer at the Brits, February 89. And then by the summer, they're doing Wembley Stadium.
Wow.
With the Bros Into Summer concert, 2, the number 2. That's such a complicated... Bros Into Summer.
Yeah. Not good enough.
Not a phrase.
So how quickly is this, then? This is like a year, is it?
So he signs them 89.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything September 87.
Yeah.
Socks. November 87, they have the hits.
Yeah.
Within 18 months,
amazing.
Basically, they're doing Bros Into Summer.
He's so good at his job.
Well, you think
it's
that.
Like
it gets
incredible.
Better. He has written the songs as well.
Wow.
I co-wrote every song on their debut album,
This guy's a genius.
Push, under a pseudonym. And his pseudonym was The Brothers, and that was designed to fool the audience into thinking that Matt and Luke Goss had written them.
Brilliant.
So he's done the ultimate. He's made the audience think that he's written them.
Yeah.
But he's getting all the money.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So they sell 10 million copies of that album, Push. 5 top 5 singles. But basically, we think that, well, that's genius. But what is the flaw of that is that then the people become famous and they don't like being pushed around.
Interesting.
So it's easy to manipulate people that want to be famous.
Yeah.
But basically, they don't want to do what he wants to do anymore.
I'm aware of that being a thing in comedy as well, actually. There are certain agencies that have a lot of control. I'm not going to say who, but I have friends who've become very big. They've decided to leave because they actually, at that point, haven't enjoyed the complete control.
Well,
whatever.
It's very easy, I'd say, if you're saying to people, I can make you a star if you do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
They're going to go, okay, I'll do X, Y, and Z. But if you go, you're a star, but I'm still in charge. So I go, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he says they became divas.
Reminds me a bit of like, when Jose Mourinho has this really sort of intense way of managing people.
Yeah.
They have incredible success for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, and then there were
people like, I can't deal with this guy.
I can't deal with this. Listen too much. Do you want to get examples of them being divas? John, who was one of the minders, had to liquidise Luke's food.
Right.
Because by now, the drummer was declaring himself too tired to do anything as strenuous as chewing when he came off stage.
Are you kidding?
Well, I don't know. This is what Tom Watkins says. It doesn't sound...
Yeah.
And their spending goes mad.
Okay.
To the point where Tom Watkins and Mick Newton, who I think is like his kind of business partner or whatever, they bring them in and they go, like, this is an analysis of your finances. You've got to rein it in. Mm-hmm. They are so upset at this chat that Luke cheers himself up by going to buy a Porsche.
Right. Perfect. Okay.
And then the classic, the Goss twins demand to write the songs on the follow-up.
Right. Does this go badly by any chance?
Well, Watkins says they'd replaced the pure pop of the smash hit debut with a weedy, middle-of-the-road sound and sub-Jacko bollocks.
Okay.
It was a very poor man's George Michael.
Right.
But this is his side.
Yeah.
The other
Such a
side,
bitterness,
well, I'll give you
probably.
the other side, is that they say they were completely ripped off by him and that he forced them to do stuff. Right. So they were required to appear on Wogan, TV chat show, which is like the big BBC One TV chat show, hours after learning that their sister had been killed by a drunk driver.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, unsurprisingly, Matt Goss said later on that there was a lack of compassion with Tom Watkins. Yeah. Does that sound? Yeah. And they're unhappy at the terms of the contract. Because basically, Watkins is entitled to 20% of their gross earnings.
Right.
But the key word there is gross. So if they're going on tour...
All costs.
All costs come out after Watkins' 20%, but before their money.
Wow.
So a 1988 tour, which grossed 1.6 million...
So he's taking his 20% from the 1.6.
Yeah.
And then everything is worked out after that
and
point.
And they end up with £4,860 each.
No way. I can now see why people don't want to work with him for ages.
Yeah. But there's some people who are growing up in Walthamstow that are about to come into his orbit. Brian, Tony, John and Terry are to be 17. They grow up in Walthamstow. Walthamstow now... and the East 17 postcode is very plush.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I'd agree, yeah. It's young families, it's sourdough.
You would never name... it is sourdough. Yeah. You would never name a band East 17 now because it doesn't...
Unbelievably gentrified area.
Yeah, it's gentrified and remarkably middle-class and uncool.
Yeah.
Then it was mainly famous for its dog track. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been to the Dogs?
It's basically like calling your band Saffron Walden, isn't it? It's where families move.
Yeah.
Okay. I was aware that you used to have a dog track, didn't it?
Yeah. Have you been to the Dogs?
I've never been to the Dogs, but I'm aware of Walthamstow dog track. It was like culturally quite a big thing, wasn't it?
It's the one that they use on the back of Park Life.
Yes. Yeah.
They launched Park Life there.
Yeah.
Blur did. But Tony says, we used to hang out at the back of Walthamstow dog track, and believe me, you wouldn't see Blur around there.
Okay. A lot of dog stuff in this story, isn't there?
There's
dog
a lot.
Food,
there's more to come.
Pet Shop Boys, Walthamstow dog track.
No, there's more to come.
Really? Okay, great.
You're going to love it. If you like dogs,
I do.
Stick around.
I will.
Awkward if you didn't. So East 17 meet at school.
Yeah.
Not in the classroom. Because they tell smash hits, Smoker's Corner.
Oh, cool.
That was the place to go.
Yeah.
And Tony says, it was the boiler room. Well, not the actual room, but the steps outside. We beat up the kids that smoked in the boiler room. That wasn't the place to be.
That's a pity.
Well, if you're offended by bad behaviour, Tom, you're not going to enjoy the next 3.5 episodes. There's going to be a lot of things that are a pity.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of thing that happened in Walthamstow in the late 80s. It's that show.
Make it right. Doesn't make it right. Yeah.
So Terry was asked in the same interview, have you got any qualifications? Terry. And then Brian, that's a tough one, that. We've only got one O-level between us.
Right.
Ant got that, Ant being Anthony.
If you're the one who hasn't got the O-level, you can't lay claim to it because you're in that group.
You.
It's not your O-level.
No.
You haven't got one between you.
No.
You haven't got one. He's got it.
Tony said, I got one in English, a CSE grade 1, actually. Is one good or bad? I don't know.
I'm not quite sure, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
they're not going to need them. So basically, they skive off. They're your classic teenage hoodlums.
Yes.
Yeah, the ones that you think their behaviour's a pity.
Yeah.
It says in the Smash Hits article, I love this, when they weren't trying to pick up other 13-year-olds, the four would hang out in Walthamstow shopping centre or outside the local disused Bosch factory.
What is Bosch?
It's tools. It's like workbenches and
Yeah.
like drills.
Okay.
Tony says kids of that age could easily get into trouble, including ourselves. What kind of thing? Burglary? It's a pity. Breaking into cars?
Pity. Yeah.
Vandalism.
You know what I'm going to say. It's a pity.
So Tony meets Tom Watkins. Mm-hmm. The way he meets Tom Watkins is incredible. So Tony and John are like outside a pub and they meet a man called Pete Andreas, who is a mate of Chris Lowe from the Pet Shop Boys.
Sorry, they're outside a pub and they meet someone who's friend
of one of the
Pet Shop Boys. Okay, got you. Yep.
He takes them to a gay club in King's Cross.
Yep.
Basically, because they kind of survive that night and like aren't put off by it,
Mm-hmm.
and Tony's really good at dancing, he then puts them in touch with Tom.
Okay.
And Tom says he meets Tony, who is the main one, right?
Yeah.
Tom says he did a lot of little raps. I saw potential in him. He told me he worked in an oversized men's clothing shop called Trouser Exchange Store in Walthamstow, and he could get me a discount. Cheeky sod. Mind you, I'll take it. So
I don't know why the phrase "he did a lot of little raps" feels a bit
a bit lame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I know we're having a good. Can I just stop you all for a second? I'm just going to do a little rap, if that's all right. Here I am, and I'm talking to you. All right, that's good, Tony. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So,
can we get back to the big trousers?
yeah, exactly.
So he gives Tony a gig dancing, because Tony's a dancer
Okay,
as well. Well, not trained, I don't think.
that's good.
With
If you're not a dancer, you don't want to be given a gig as a dancer, do you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite useful that he is a dancer. Okay.
So he gigs with a band called Faith, Hope and Charity. Tony, Tom says, is like the most magnetic thing on stage.
Right. Yeah.
Tom adds, at least for an old queen like me.
Yeah.
And then later on at the party, Tony is, in Tom's words, surrounded by a bunch of leering gay men. Tony had clearly had enough of being perved over. He pulled out his enormous dong, waved it at his drooling fans and told them, see this, you're never getting your hands on it.
Wow. Wow. That's confidence.
It's great stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pity?
Well, no, actually, I think it's quite impressive.
It's enormous.
It's enormous. Yeah. Fair enough.
So he wants to sign Tony, but he doesn't think he's got it as a solo artist. Mm-hmm. So he basically goes, have you got any mates?
Yeah.
So Brian Harvey, John Hendy, and Terry Caldwell. So Brian, it turns out, is a great singer. The other two are just kind of backing lads.
Yeah.
So Tom says musically, this was Tony and Brian's show. Terry and John were there to make up the numbers. We might as well have unplugged their microphones. But they added to the street tough gang image of the band.
So they all knew each other from school. That's okay.
All from Walthamstow, yeah. And then, you're going to love this, there's a fifth member of the band. Their dog.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is that true? Okay.
Well,
yeah.
So they basically signed...
Tony's huge penis, I thought you were going to say.
His huge penis.
Yeah.
So they're looking for an angle.
Yeah.
And Tom says to them, have you got an angle? What have you got? And there's a long, awkward silence. And John says, we've got a dog.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's brought it with them. Tom says, okay, I like dogs. Let's use it.
Yeah.
So they've got this 5-month-old dog, Staffordshire Bull Terrier called Levi.
Great.
And the drawing of the dog becomes their logo. And they also get an ex-convict to spray that logo around London to start a kind of guerrilla marketing campaign.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a pity.
Yeah. Well, I actually
It's
don't
still
think
a crime.
It is.
Where are you drawing the line?
But it's a cool crime. That's the difference. Are you aware of Banksy? I've got a great book I can show you.
They signed with London Records, home of Bananarama, Happy Mondays, Shakespeare's Sister, Fine Young Cannibals, etc. Soon to be the home of Ace of Base, All Saints, Sugar Babes, and sadly Holly Valance. And then they released their first single, House of Love.
Yeah.
And there's this whole rave scene going on, and it's basically a house track called House of Love.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
It is a good track, actually.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good. And Tony's written these, just to be very clear.
Yeah.
Tony has written all of the songs.
Okay.
So Tom Watkins isn't involved, or the other three. Tony...
Or the dog.
Or the dog.
Yeah.
Maybe. Tony just is a brilliant songwriter.
Yeah.
So it peaks at number 10 in the UK, number 1 in Finland and Sweden.
Yeah.
If you want that. Tom says it's as if John Lennon had done an E and then been roughed up by a bunch of Borstal boys. That's his description of the song.
Great quote.
Everybody in the house of love. Everybody, one love, one God.
It's a very cheap video, which kind of they get away with because it's like works for them.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a BMW in the video that was John's, John being one, John from John and Terry.
Yeah.
And he says in Smash Hits, that was mine. It was really hot. I didn't have no insurance. Hot being, because you won't understand this, Craine.
It's stolen.
Well, I don't know, but certainly illegal.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't have no insurance, and a police car tried to get me to pull over. I thought I'm not going to stop and lose my license. They chased after me. I pulled down a side road, but I couldn't get out of the car because the door wouldn't open. I got out the window and walked down the road casually and just left the car. But then the police cars pulled out and said they'd seen me in it. They told me to bring my insurance to the station, so I got a dodgy cover note off my mate and filled it in. I got spirits to get the ink to come off and had to dry it with a hairdryer and iron it, and I got away with it, man. They fell for it. I was well happy. I used to do things like that a lot.
Wow.
He's saying that in Smash Hits magazine.
Yeah.
Which just feels legally so dodgy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Not to go in on him, but don't, if you've got away with that.
Yeah, but then it plays into the character they're trying to sell, so it makes sense that he would...
I get that, Tom.
And I'm also not sure the police comb Smash Hits for leads. I'm not sure that's one of their main areas for sort of bringing people. I've ever been watching a true crime documentary that said we found him because he'd mentioned it all in Smash Hits.
No, but I'd think if you were to mention it in the most popular magazine in the UK,
John Wayne Gacy or whatever,
someone might pass it on.
Yeah.
It wasn't like people were each week admitting to murder in Smash Hits and then no one was passing it on to the police.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So then they release It's All Right, which is an incredible song.
Yeah.
Another incredible song that's got this kind of... It's like two songs cobbled together. It's got this kind of heartbreaking piano verse and then this brilliant rocking chorus.
Don't you worry, 'cause it's alright. Don't you worry, child, after 9. 'Cause in the morning come with the new day sun, love and everlasting light. We are the seed of a new breed. We'll succeed, our time has come. We are the new, these words are true. Let the light of love shine through. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's really alright, it's alright. It's really alright.
Alright, everything's gonna be alright. Alright, everything's gonna be alright. Alright, everything's gonna be alright. Alright, it's really alright.
Charts at number 3. The single version is a slightly different mix to the album version. And it's labelled the Governor Mix.
Right. Yeah.
Number 3 in the UK chart. Number 1 hit in Australia for 7 weeks. France, Ireland, Israel, Switzerland, all number 1.
And this is also a time when being number one meant money.
Yeah.
Whether it's making it to them is something I will find out. But
There is lots of money coming in already.
yeah.
Remember, and it will become clear, the money goes to the songwriters.
Yes.
Or the songwriter specifically, Tony. But I suppose we'll have this discussion as we go on. That does feel fair.
Yeah.
Tony has brought his 3 mates into a band that is
Absolutely.
basically based on his talent.
And we found out only one of them can sing as well.
Exactly.
The other two are just there really for
They
look.
look good in coats.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And hats.
Whose dog was it?
It is John's dog.
Okay, so he's brought that.
Yeah, John's brought the dog.
Get some kind of cut for that at least.
So at this point, shall we ask you at the end of this episode who you think is the remaining member of E17?
Do you know what? I'm going to stick with my initial guess.
You're not going to go with Levi the dog? Still touring.
I'm going to stick with Tony. But
It feels fair, doesn't it?
absolutely. Well, The evidence being, you've already told me, it's the songwriters that get the money.
Yeah.
People like money, don't they? People stick around if there's money there.
Money will go around.
Exactly. So I'm going to stick with Tony at this point, but that may change.
So they're hot, not like John's Car, but they released like 6 singles off this first album.
Yeah.
One of them is a cover of West End Girls by the Pet Shop Boys.
Yep.
Which is purely to infuriate the Pet Shop Boys. From Tom Watkins.
Great.
Tom Watkins says, what's that saying about revenge being best served cold? And I don't know whether he's thinking about his Pizza Express margarita.
Yeah.
How many years on is it? It's 1983. I think they sacked him in the late 80s. I skirted over that one of the reasons the Pet Shop Boys fell out with Tom Watkins was that he bought Bros nicer presents than he brought them.
Oh, really?
So they get a bit jealous of Bros. But this is the problem of the music mogul.
Yeah.
And these problems are hugely about to start with East 17. But also more success. And that will be next time. That's it for part 1 of the story of East 17. Coming up in part 2. And it beats to number 1, Take That, and Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. At this time, Top of the Pops has like celebrity guest hosts. And the ultimate slam is that the people presenting Top of the Pops that week who have to introduce it Take That.
Perfect.
And remember, you can get that and all the episodes of this series right now at museumofpopculture.supportingcast.fm and follow us on social media at Museum of Pop Culture Pod to see links and clips to some of the things we discuss in this episode, as well as being the home of pop culture nostalgia.